See, we only thought we were getting one episode of Traitors today, but instead we got two.
Yeah.
And I've got 3 words for you.
What's that?
Brenna, you bitch. Traitors, season 4, episode 4. Cut the head off the snake. Let's watch.
Remote reality, yeah, that's the key. Unlocking stories wild and free. With the host, side by side. Channel surfers, let's ride.
Hey, Channel Surfers. Welcome to Remote Reality. This is Lauren, your friend and attorney host who loves to overanalyze everything, including my favorite reality TV shows.
And this is Dee, her paralegal. And today I'm going to be a smartass sidekick, I think.
I think you've already been a smart-ass sidekick. It's Friday. It brings out the best in you.
Absolutely. I love Fridays. TGIF.
We did not expect 2 episodes today, though. We ended the last episode like, oh, only one next week. So we're going to take these one at a time. This will be season 4, episode 4 of The Traitors. And we just want to thank our subscribers for channel surfing with us, chatting with us in the comments. It means so much. If you haven't joined, make sure you like and subscribe. It's the best way to support us as we try to grow our podcast. We started doing this back last April and started the YouTube channel around June. So it's fun. It's fun to see what everybody has to say.
We always enjoy the comments.
Like we say, this is the best part of our day. You guys, and talking with you, channel surfing with you, it's our favorite. So let's start off where we left off at the end of episodes 1 through 3. We did all of those in one for the drop last week. We've got Caroline, Kristen, Ron, and Eric tied to trees, pleading for their lives. And we don't know who's going to be executed. We start off the episode the same way, but we see them pulling down their masks. We're not showing the reveal, though, right off the bat. Instead, we're going to go to the dining room for breakfast with everybody else. So Rob, as they're entering the dining room, waiting for everybody, but the 4 people who are tied to trees are 5 as far as they're concerned, because Lisa Rhino was supposed to be tied to one of those trees. As they're sitting there talking, we see Rob and ITMs saying that his strategy is to play dumb. How do you think that's working for him? Let's talk about his dumb strategy.
So far, I think it's working as far as the faithfuls. He's kind of staying under the radar of anybody's suspicions, but he's playing a good traitor game.
He's hard to read. I don't know if I equate that with being dumb. And in these coming episodes, I think we see proof that he does think. He's actually pretty smart, but he plays maybe aloof at times, which, come on, this is the guy from Love Island. He and Maura, they're not our brainiacs here. They're not supposed to be.
True. I think she's a little more outspoken than him, though, with her interactions in the house.
Well, everybody is more outspoken than Rob. He doesn't say much. Now, Monet, as they're coming in, he has a strategy. When the traitors enter the room, not the traitors, the faithfuls that were tied to the trees enter the room, let's put them under cross-examination. Let's just start questioning them about what happened the night before, even though they were blindfolded and tied to a tree. Let's see what they say and compare their stories. And Rob, he's like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Again, would a traitor encourage somebody to use this strategy? Probably not. So he's not playing dumb. That was strategic. I think it was strategic.
Yeah, it was a strategy they played last season, too, with the coffins.
To question?
Yeah, what the people heard. They asked them when they got back in. They were asking them the same questions to see if any of them didn't match the other ones.
Dorinda is feeling very guilty that she left Lisa Rinna tied in the woods to a tree. Lisa says that for her husband, Harry Hamlin, he would tell you that outdoorsy camping stuff is like going to the 4 seasons. That's the most seasonal weather she's getting. So Dorinda can't imagine that Lisa will ever forgive her if she comes back alive. And she feels bad because Dorinda feels like the housewives have a loyalty to each other. She felt like she's loyal to Lisa. She let her down by not stacking those skulls up And as housewives, they're loyal to each other. So when this gets added into the edit, my first thought is they got rid of Caroline. The editors are antagonizing us. Let's make Dorinda say something and then show that Lisa's going to stab someone in the back. So even though we ended last episode with me thinking Kristen, the scene with Dorinda flipped my switch.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking something similar.
So as people are coming in, the group is speculating that either Kristen or Eric would be a low-key murder. The consensus is that Ron is not going to be taken out because he's shielding the traitors, or he is a traitor. And Rob points out the traitors either want us to think that Ron is a traitor or Ron is actually a traitor, just to prove the point that the traitors aren't actually going to get rid of Ron. I agree. Right now, the name of the game seems to be, if you have a huge target on you, you're not getting murdered. Target as in the Roundtable. If you're one of the names being discussed for Roundtable, they're not taking you out.
No, those people are shielding the traitors right now.
Which, from a faithful standpoint, wouldn't a strategy make more sense to keep things under wraps? Not put on blast who you think a traitor is?
I mean, that strategy could work as long as you're away from the round table. But once you get to the round table and everybody starts talking, you can kind of get a feel what people are thinking and what direction that they're going based on those round tables.
But that's because they're putting them on blast. What I'm saying is if you suspect somebody is a traitor and you don't make it a huge issue, then the traitors might kill that person to eliminate your question, to resolve your question for you. But if you have that person on blast, they're safe from being murdered. The only way to get them out is going to be the round table. So strategically, if you want to know if somebody's a traitor or not putting them on blast doubles their chances of you finding out, because either you bring it up when the time is right at the round table or you wait to see him get murdered. Ron's not getting murdered. These big names aren't even a thought. We saw that at the turret. We're not getting rid of Ron.
Not getting rid of Michael either for the same reason.
Correct. So yeah, Rob is saying that either Ron's a traitor or the traitors want us to think that Ron's a traitor. He's telling Monet, good idea. This is the most that I've seen Rob talk.
Yeah, he doesn't say a lot. He just looks good.
All of a sudden, he has opinions and he's bringing them here. So everybody's gathered in the room, eating their smoked salmon. And we get down to the missing players from last night. The next people to walk in the door are going to tell us who wasn't murdered. So first up, unsurprisingly, Ron. I wonder if the faithful are analyzing the order of how people come in. They know that editors are going to save the most controversial for last.
Yeah, that was something that I kind of watched last season to see if there was any kind of pattern, any way to figure it out. And I didn't notice anything. I'm just sitting there like, how come they're always the last ones to come in? Like, does somebody go and knock on their door for them to walk in? You know, okay, it's time for you to go into the dining room. Or is there a bell that says, okay, come downstairs?
The edit always is creating suspense. The missions were always down to the last second, or it looks like they might not make it. We know this about the editors and the traitors. So if they send in Ron first, the faithfuls could take that to mean this wasn't something that's going to keep the audience in suspense. The audience essentially knows the way that they're editing this, that Ron is going to be safe. Is that because he's a traitor? Is that because he's a big threat? When it's coming down to two people at the end and they're walking in one-on-one, my guess would be that neither of them are traitors, because it's not going to create suspense for the audience in the edit for Lisa Rinna or Kristen to be the last two, because you know it's going to be Kristen. So I wonder if they're looking at it from that angle as well. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
looking at it from the editor's view, because they know the show creates suspense. So they're telling a story with the way they're sending people in.
Yeah.
Ron says his henchman tied him to the tree. The traitors had to walk around him, and he thinks he heard 3 traitors. But then in the diary room, he doesn't say this to the group. He did hear the tiniest of footsteps, and he suspects that that is Maura because she's the smallest person. Now, Dorinda still has her eye on Ron because week 1, it looked like they were going to take out Donna, but he flipped the vote to Portia, and she was a faithful. And then Donna got eliminated, and Donna was a traitor. Donna was also close to Ron.
That's what I was getting ready to say, is they're looking at his association with Donna, and I mean, he's been out on his own. I mean, he couldn't even get a partner for the last mission.
But also, I think week 1, the fact that Donna was on the cutting block and he saved her by throwing Portia, faithful, under the bus, that just makes it look worse.
Yeah, it just added to it.
So Monet is joking around and asks Michael, which traitors were walking around with you in a circle last night, to see if he can catch him off guard. And Michael has some self-reflection about how he knows his tone can be off-putting. It's not just his tone. There is one scene where he is shoveling mac and cheese into his mouth. And by shoveling, like, he has his plate up to his mouth and he is just scooping it directly in. I have a feeling that a lot of people are probably pretty grossed out by him. I'm not. Do I shovel food into my mouth? Absolutely.
Honestly, didn't even notice it until you pointed it out.
Not even offended here. Am I loud and obnoxious? At times.
I just think that he's over the top in everything that he does. And I think because he's like that, it could work for or against him.
Right.
And he's really
right
throwing
now,
people
having
off.
that big target works for him.
Yeah.
So the next person up is Lisa. So we've got Ron. We know that they're not going to get rid of Ron. We have Lisa. We know they're not going to get rid of Lisa. And she's screaming, giving high fives like, heck yeah, I made it through the night, bees. They immediately start questioning her. She has to take a sip of her tea. She's not ready for this. And as soon as they start questioning her, I hear Dee go, uh-oh.
I know. I was like, oh,
We're
no. Did she pay attention? Is
and
she
again,
be
I
able to
think
answer
this
these
is the
questions?
edits.
Yeah.
But she says it was a henchman, says the henchman has the black masks on, that they pulled her to a tree, specifically a maple tree.
Are there even maple trees in Scotland? Like, I don't even know if that's something that's in Scotland.
What does a maple tree look like?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
Exactly. She's like
And
an arborist.
Well, and they did, somebody tried, I think it was Monet. He tried to trick her and say, wearing the gold mask, because Ron had already said the guy was wearing a black mask. And she was like, no, it was black.
Right. And you were saying, say black, say black.
Yeah. Yes. I was like willing it to her.
She told the traitor that she was a good faithful and that she would help them. And Natalie questions that. Why would you say you're a good faithful? And also, why would you tell everybody that you're going to help, that you told the traitor you would help them? What do you think about that statement and including that in the explanation of what happened?
I thought it was really interesting because that's exactly what, was it Eric? That's exactly what Eric said to the traitors.
Well, he didn't say he was a good faithful.
He just said he would help them or whatever.
Right.
So I thought it was interesting because, it could be plausible, especially if, we've seen it in other seasons as well where they try to negotiate. So I honestly didn't think it was something that would be out of character of someone on the tree.
And see, I'm the person overanalyzing everything. The reason they're asking these questions is so that they can compare stories. The other people tied to the trees aren't going to be able to say whether or not what Lisa said is what she said. So what is the point of Lisa saying this? It's to let them know she is a good faithful, to try to convince them that she is a good faithful. And later on in the episode, there's things that Portia say where it's the same thing. I would be looking at them and questioning why they're telling us this information.
Mm-hmm.
And the only answer to that is, what information do we get out of that? Lisa said she was a good faithful and that she would help the traitors.
Mm-hmm.
So is she trying to convince us she's a good faithful instead of letting us stack her story against everyone else's? So I thought that was interesting,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't see anybody yet bringing up these little nuances. Why did they say this? This seems a little off. And that was different. No, we didn't see anyone else tell what they told the traitors.
No.
But Lisa says, well, I thought I was going to die. And when she pulled down her mask, the henchman slammed an axe. Now, Candice does think that Lisa is being suspicious because Lisa's being very dramatic. But then again, Lisa is typically dramatic. Now, do you think she's always dramatic? Are there times in this game where she's not being dramatic?
I think she's staying pretty consistent to the person that she's playing with the faithfuls and with the traitors. She's a little bit more low key with the traitors than she is with the faithfuls. But
What do you mean?
Well, she doesn't seem to be as outgoing and vivacious with them when she's plotting versus socializing. I mean, it's a completely different scene. I mean, when she's with the traitors, they're plotting who the next person is that they're going to murder. So obviously she's not vivacious. She's thinking, where I just think she's a vivacious person.
So you think that her personality is consistent?
Yeah, I do.
Regardless of what they're doing, if they're doing the mission, if they're doing the roundtable, if they're
Right.
at breakfast,
From
you're
what I've
seeing
seen-
the same personality.
Yeah, based on watching her on The Real Housewives, yes,
Mhm.
I think she is consistent with her personality from the show.
Ron, he agrees it's pretty much the same for him as it was for Lisa. And surprisingly, the story that Lisa told comes out bad on Ron.
Yes.
Jimmy looks
because
at Steven and says, he didn't say it back.
he didn't mention the axe at all. So any attention that Candice thought Lisa might be getting was kind of like deterred when she mentioned the axe and everybody noticed that Ron didn't.
Do you think that makes Ron more suspicious that he didn't mention the axe?
Not necessarily. But I mean, look, in this game, everything everyone does and says is going to be suspicious. That's the whole point.
And so many things could go either way.
Right.
So the next person to walk in is Eric, of course, because again, it's down to Kristen or Caroline. We know that from the way that the edit was set up last week. Again, faithful, watch the order. So we know the editors want to leave Kristen and Caroline for last. Create that drama. So he also verifies henchman, leather mask, axe, tying him to a tree. Now he thinks he heard 2 sets of footsteps. And then we go to the diary room and he said he's got a clue. He heard somebody laugh. And he's not ready to say who the laugh was, but he's been paying attention and he's pretty sure he knows. And I hear Dee go, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because Lisa's got this really loud laugh and it's very distinct. And I'm like, oh no, did she laugh and he hear her? So I'm thinking it's Lisa.
I definitely thought it would be one of the women. Because have we really seen Rob laugh? No.
No.
So, moment of truth. Colton and Monet think that Caroline's out of there. And remember, Caroline was Colton's partner. Colton's hands were shaking. He couldn't get those skulls stacked up. He left complaining about Tiffany having a plan. And it was suspicious that Tiffany had partnered up with Michael and she just wants to be in control. Well, she saved her partner. So why would she work so hard to save her partner if he was a traitor and they're both safe? Anyway, just wanted to point out that Colton,
He should have been able to.
he was already mad that Tiffany was playing a better game than him
Yeah.
at the end of last week because she
Yeah.
could stack the skulls and Mr. I've been playing football for 17 years couldn't.
Yeah.
So-
he didn't think that out.
We don't see who walks in the door. The door opens and we're taken back to the woods, which I loved this edit. We see the traitors walking around, blindfolded Caroline and Kristen, and we see them both pull off their masks. And Caroline, when she pulls off her masks, there's 3 hooded figures who reveal their identities. So Caroline, she's the one that's gone. And her first words are, Rhino, you bitch.
Typical housewife style.
This is so typical housewives. What they say throughout this scene sounds like what they're saying at the beginning of the season, on the beginning of the episodes where they all have their catch line.
Yeah.
But first, there's a little bit of jabbing. Caroline's confused. She is staring 2 housewives in the face. She thought the housewives were sticking together. She says, I thought we really bonded. And Lisa is cracking me up. She's like, too bad, too bad, too bad.
And
Caroline,
she's got a smile on her.
Bye, you go.
And she's got her smile on her face the whole time. Like there's no sadness, no nothing. She's enjoying every bit of this.
Is playing this role. And then when Caroline goes, okay, well, I guess I'll see you outside of here, like at BravoCon. And it says, no, you won't. No, you won't. Dang, girl, because you're dead. And then we get to the housewife opening lines. Only a housewife could look you straight in the eye and then stab you directly in your back. Caroline, with her apple or whatever she's holding in the beginning of her. I've never seen the Dubai.
I haven't either.
The death of murdering a housewife face to face is like the cherry on top of a sundae. Lisa Rinna.
That's going to be her new opening housewife line.
And she's going to be dropping that cherry right on top.
Yeah. Caroline's is going to be Rena, you bitch.
Rena, you bitch. Yep. Very dramatic, very fun. And Caroline was shocked. So, what did you think of Alan's outfit? He's got the orange suit, the leopard pocket protector and scarf. He has some jewels on his face and on his straw hat.
I liked his outfit. You know, I always love his outfits.
You loved Big Bird.
He can wear it. I'm not a person that likes yellow, but I mean, Alan can just wear anything as far as
I
concerned.
loved what he was wearing today. I love his crazy style. But when he looked like Big Bird last week, look, I'm going to tell it like it is. It was a Big Bird.
I just thought...
Some people were like, this is blasphemy that you're talking about Alan. It's okay. It was a swing and a miss. It happens.
I honestly think he can wear anything.
A lot. Now, Kristen says she heard 3 to 4 traitors.
Every one of their numbers is different. So they're not getting any information from asking the question, how many did you hear?
Except to know there's 2 to 4 traitors.
Exactly.
While Yam Yam is questioning those that survived last night, he refers to what happened as a ceremony. And Tiffany finds this suspicious. Dorinda, you see her, she's like, what did you think? Did you think Yam Yam calling it a ceremony was suspicious and something only a traitor would do?
No, I didn't.
I would probably refer to it as a ceremony too.
Right.
I say that as I'm sitting here wearing your
What are you going to call it? What else is there to call it? I mean, I know there's a few things, but ceremony.
The crime scene.
Ceremony. Yeah. Ceremony easily comes to mind.
The place where a murder happened. Now, Ron and Eric, they're comparing notes and they're both talking about one set of light footsteps and one set of heavy footsteps. So they both agree on that. But Eric still doesn't open up to Ron about the giggle.
I don't think he does with anybody until they get to the round table. I don't remember seeing him tell anybody.
Tiffany is trying to get everybody on the same page for Ron. Her argument is that he's unpredictable. He tries to get sympathy shifted to him when the tension starts looking bad on him. He plays a boo-hoo card. And also we hear, the Portia vote. We hear people say that he's not getting too close, but specifically this is what she's talking about, and people are backing her up on it. Now, Tiffany thought it would be Kristen that was killed because Kristen is smart, and that's exactly how you and I were thinking.
Right.
These traitors are good at changing up their modus operandi.
They're very good at keeping them on their toes because as soon as the faithful start, seeing any kind of pattern, it changes and then they lose all. They have to start at square one again.
So we see the guys having a little bro scene outside. It looks like Colton and Rob have a secret handshake.
I missed that.
And Colton tells Monet, Rob R., and Mark that he thinks Tiffany is a traitor. And here are his reasons. Here are his facts. One, she half-assed an insincere fake eulogy for Ian. That's not a fact. Objection, hearsay, objection, stating an opinion. And it's not an expert opinion. You're just saying you think she was fake and half-assed when she did the eulogy for Ian. Even though they were the only two Big Brother players.
Right.
This was her only connection in the house. Big Brother, I mean, they go to reunions together. They have that family, just like The Bachelor has the Bachelor family. So fake and insincere, that's your read on it, but that's not facts. And then she murdered Ian and Robar. Okay, well, prove it. That's a conclusion that she murdered it. Could we get some supporting evidence besides just a statement you're making? Objection, hearsay. And then she wants Ron, Yam Yam, and Michael, not because she's suspicious of them, but because she wants control. What does he mean?
I don't know. That sounds more personal than strategic. I
This
think
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think maybe she's hurt his feelings somewhere along the line because, I mean, there's no strategy to that. What does someone wanting to be in control or anything like that have to do with anything?
Says the guy who is running around trying to get out Tiffany, who last week ran around and tried to get out Donna. We're talking about control. Who is the one coming up with strategies and calling shots? Without any evidence? I'm sorry. None of this is proof of anything. It's, I think she's fake. I think she murdered them. And I think she wants to be in control. Oh, okay. Obviously a traitor. What? She's a gamer. She's going to strategize. I think Colton is an idiot because these point A plus B does not equal C. It's like 1 + 1 does not equal 2. He is not giving us a foundation to lead to his conclusion that Tiffany's a traitor.
Well, her behavior, though, would have led me to not think that she was, because I actually thought she was more vocal than she should have been with her strategy with Ron, Yam Yam, and Michael.
What do you mean?
Because she was talking to a lot of people about it. And I just don't think a traitor would actually be that vocal and out there. I think they would tend to sit back more and quietly manipulate things or individually manipulate things. She was telling everybody that would listen what she thought and what her strategy was as far as going after Ron and then Michael and then Yam Yam. She was not quiet about it at all.
And why would she pick Ron, Michael, and Yam Yam? None of them have called her out by name. None of them are going after her. They've got 2 of them have big targets on their back already. So why put yourself at risk and throw yourself into the mix? It's not making sense.
Right.
Even if you sit here and you try to figure out what Colton's saying, it's not making sense because it's stupid.
Yeah. I
just have a gut feeling and y'all should go with it.
That's the reason why I think whatever's going on with him where Tiffany is concerned is personal. I think that she's hurt. When I say hurt his feelings, or she's done something.
Well, she outgained him. She was able to stack those skulls up. And I just don't think that he liked her being nice to Michael. And she said if Michael's a traitor, then at least, friends with him and stay on his side, which is a strategic move.
It was a strategy that she planned when she chose him to partner up with him and talk to him, because she's like, I'm not real sure about him, but if he is a traitor, I want to be his friend.
And if he's not, then he's a wild cannon and he's not firing off at you. That was a smart strategy. So Rob is like, whoa, Colton, we're throwing another name in the mix. We got a few people on the list already, but hey, as long as you're not targeting my people, I don't care. Keep throwing it.
Yeah.
Now, Rob says he thinks that Colton is smart, but he's completely wrong. I don't know where he's getting smart from.
I don't know.
Because he got lucky with Donna?
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe at that moment, Colton had said something smart, but he just knows that it's wrong. So He don't
Or
care.
he's like, well, let's say Colton's smart. Maybe spread that around so that people listen to him and don't target me.
True.
Believe Colton and go down that path. Colton knows that targeting Tiffany is going to put a huge target on his back, but he's going to do it anyway because if he goes out, you don't want to go out like a bitch, whatever that means.
Kind of looking like a whiny bitch now.
So they're going to the mission, and in the car, Candice finds out that Colton is targeting Tiffany. Now, Tiffany, we see it at the beginning at breakfast. She's sitting next to Lisa Rinna. She has gotten very cozy with the housewives. She fits right in. And she's definitely put her mark on Candice's heart. Candice loves Tiffany. And Candice says it's not Tiffany's time to go yet. Will Candice's love for Tiffany affect her Traitors game?
I think it could. I think it's a good possibility.
Traitors usually want to blend in. It also doesn't hurt, though, to have somebody that's faithful be able to vouch for you.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like in reverse the strategy that Tiffany was trying to do with Michael. Only it's a traitor staying close to a faithful instead of a faithful trying to stay close to someone they think is a traitor.
In order to have somebody to back you up on the round tables. So we get to the mission, the effigy mission. They're going to split up into teams, go follow the corn dogs through the woods. I know it's corn dolls, but
I know.
I have this Hansel and Gretel image in my head that they're just like following corn dogs. And they're looking for spears. And then they're going to stab a beast or an effigy. It looks like this big bullhead. No, I'm not talking about Colton. It doesn't look like bullheaded Colton. It's like a big bull skull on a skeletal body. And as they stab them with this fiery spear, they have to scream the name of one of the players who will lose their shield. So everyone starts with a shield. 10 beasts, up to 10 people lose their shields, and $2,000 per effigy. So the groups, we've got Lisa, Monet, Candice, and Eric. Now, Monet, before this starts, he says to Candice that he has his doubts about Lisa.
He's starting to get a tickle in his throat for her, he said.
So when Lisa comes up and, hey, can I be on your team? He's reluctantly saying yes. Then you have Kristen, Colton, and Maura, Rob, Tara, and Dorinda. Do you notice that Rob and Maura are always partnering up?
I think she tries to get him all the time for these challenges.
I think he tries to get her.
I think it's the other way around, but okay.
I think. Do you sense like a little love connection between these two?
I think there's some definite flirting going on.
They're both Love Island. They're both very attractive. They're both kind of on the quiet side. I think Maura right off the bat came up and was flirty, and Rob was hesitant, but he's warming up to her.
He's warming up to her, but yeah, I think there might be a little flirtatious stuff going on the side with those two.
I do believe that out of all of the connections Rob has in this house, he would defend his connection with Maura and try to keep her safe.
Yeah, I think he will too. Yeah, I think he will too.
Just a feeling. No evidence to back that up. But they are partnering together a lot.
Yeah. It's not a fact. It's just our opinion.
Just our opinion. And it's based on them always being together in groups. Whenever there's a group conversation going on, you see the two of them. You see them playing on teams together. So that's my evidence. Anyway, Stephen, Natalie, and Michael, Johnny, Ron, Tiffany, and Yam Yam. So the first team to find a spear, it's Kristen, Colton, and Mark. And they take out Ron. Because if Ron is a traitor, he's not going to be murdered, which makes sense. Like,
yeah,
if you're going to take a shield from someone, take it from somebody who you know isn't going to get killed. And right now, we aren't seeing the loudmouth players being murdered. So what do you think of that strategy? I think it helps protect them. Like, if Ron is going to get mad, their response is, look, you're safe. You made it through last night.
Yeah.
You're not a threat to be murdered. You might be a traitor, but then again, if they really thought he was a traitor, well, burn his shield. Yeah. Find out. Let them murder him and tell you.
Well, I think the reasoning is the longer these people who they think might be traitors go without having shields and not getting murdered, the more likely that they are actually traitors.
It helps build their case.
Yes.
Agreed. At some point, Michael finds the corn doll and he's like, I got it, a corn doll, a corn doll. And they're like, no, dude, no, spear. That is just a hint that it is around. We are not looking for corn dolls. But he is so excited to have his corn dog.
The corn dolls mark the spot, Michael, not the spear. You don't want the doll. You need the spear that the doll marks.
That man was so excited to get his dolly.
I know.
Number 2, Lisa, Monet, Candice, and Eric. And they take out Tiffany. Monet and Eric kind of bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
And my read was that Candice and Lisa, they were kind of like, and then they just went with it.
Yeah, I probably would have done the same thing in their situation. You got 2 traitors on the same team in this mission, and I wouldn't have done anything that made either one of them stand out. So yeah, I would have just went along with it.
Here's the other thing. They both like Tiffany. Tiffany's not going anywhere. Take her shield. She's fine. Now, Tiffany sees that this group has taken her shield and she's not happy about it. Her team, Johnny, Ron, Tiffany, and Yam Yam, find the next spear. And they're like, who should we target? Tiffany goes, them bitches that just got me out.
Mm-hmm.
And she takes that spear, jabs it into the effigy, and is like, Monet.
And I just love whatever the music is that they play every time they jab it in there. I'm like, every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, that's so dramatic.
It's Chuck Berry. It's sexual healing when they jab it in. So that's number 3, Monet. Maura, Rob, Tara, and Dorinda. They have the next spear and they take out Michael. Number 4, because he's a big personality, not a threat for murder. Steven, Natalie, and Michael then find the next spear. Of course, Michael knows that he just got taken out, so he takes out Tara.
Mm-hmm.
That seems stupid to me.
I didn't quite understand why he chose her, because she's a very under-the-radar player at this point.
It was a personal decision. Michael was offended that her team just took him out. So instead of being strategic, who do we want to know more about? Who do we want to see if they escape another murder?
True.
Who do we want to put up there that isn't going to be a target? And then maybe narrow it down to who we want to find out the truth about. He just picks Tara because she picked him. His head got out of the game and he reacted quickly, and I don't think it was smart.
I don't think he's I don't think he's a logical player anyway. I think he's a very emotional player.
Which is a liability to the traitors. Arguably, Colton is doing the same. Maura, Rob, Tara, and Dorinda, they find another spear. Tara gets to pick and she takes out Steven. 6th person out. 7th person out is Kristen, Colton, and Mark take Lisa out. And they figured she wasn't murdered last night and none of them are tightly aligned with her. So, disposable. And then Johnny, Ron, Tiffany, and Yam Yam get the 8th spear and they take out Maura. Remember, Ron thinks that the traitor had light footsteps, so he wants to do it to see if she survives. This is a strategic move. Ron is very strategic. And I wrote, Maura's going to survive because Rob isn't letting her go. Not because she's a traitor, but because one of the traitors is writing Dear Diary about her every night with little kissy marks.
Or their little cuddle buddies.
Steven, Natalie, and Michael take out Johnny, number 9. Because he hasn't been up for murder yet. So again, strategic. They're trying to find some reasoning behind their picks. And then last but not least, Kristen, Colton, and Mark take out Yam Yam. Now, it was between him and Dorinda. Kristen, Colton, and Mark, they all still have their shields, so they're not going to take each other out. And Mark gets to pick it. And then Yam Yam he starts crying.
I know. I felt so bad for him.
I know. And Colton tries to make him feel better. He goes, look, you're safe because your name is floating around for the table. So, you'll be up for the table and the murder now. Way to make him feel good, Colton. Kristen, and Mark dominated this competition. I think Colton, he had to make up for not saving Caroline. They got 3 of the spears, 3 of the 10. Like Lisa's group only got 1. Lisa, Monet, Candice, and Eric. Yeah, they were the only group to get 3. Now, while this competition is going on, in the woods, Candice lets Lisa know that Monet dropped suspicion on her. It's not good.
No, they
You
don't want
gotta,
anybody looking at them.
you gotta keep your name out their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all running back, and Rob has Maura on his back, running, carrying her back.
Mm-hmm.
And Alan says he's doing a lot to carry Maura. But Dorinda, she hasn't had a ride in a while. I thought Dorinda would get up on Rob and take him for a little ride.
She'd take that ride.
Most of the house would. Shoot, I'd take a ride.
I'd take that ride.
Giddy up, Rob. So we've got
Yeehaw.
Ron, Tiffany, May, Tara, Steven, Lisa, Maura, Johnny, and Yam Yam. Shieldless. Up for murder. Car ride back. Tiffany, they've got girl code here. She tells Maura that Ron thinks it's her.
Mm-hmm.
And Lisa Rinna is sitting right there. How could this affect Lisa's decisions? That Lisa hears Tiffany telling Maura that Ron thinks it's Maura. Could it affect Lisa's decisions at the round table?
Yeah, because if Ron is somebody that people are suspecting, well, not necessarily round table. I'm thinking murder. Like,
Okay, so that was
yeah,
my other question for murder. So we'll start with
yeah,
murder.
I can see where she'd be like, look, Ron's been throwing Mara's name out there. So if she disappears through murder,
It
that's
looks
just
like
going
it
to
was
put
Ron.
it'll put more of a target on him. Yeah.
As far as a round table, she sees Tiffany taking people aside and giving them advice.
Mm-hmm.
She also sees Tiffany trusting the ladies,
Mm-hmm.
girl code, but she doesn't know what other conversations Tiffany's having outside of her presence. And it could make her worry that Tiffany might take something she says in confidence to somebody else. Not that Lisa's saying much in confidence, but
Right. Good point.
in Eric's car, discussions are happening about who the traitor is. And we get back to ITMs, and Eric is saying, I'm going to keep my clue close to the chest. He doesn't want to throw another name into the mix right now and get people off of their projected plan.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that strategy?
I think it's a pretty good strategy that he's keeping it to himself. He's going to wait for the round table.
And I don't think he would have brought it up at the round table if the momentum had not have shifted towards Tiffany. I think it was a very smart decision.
Yeah, I agree.
There's enough people on the plan. If he throws somebody else in there and you already have huge momentum going in another direction, you might not get
You
the
don't want to
votes that you need to get rid of Tiffany. And then Tiffany targets you.
Right.
He was holding it close to the chest until it looked like it was going to swing in one direction. And then he was going to be the cherry on top of the sundae,
Yes, he was.
the nail in the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was very smart, very strategic.
Mm-hmm.
And also, as long as the plans floating around aren't saying Eric,
Mm-hmm.
why worry about it now? Unless
Exactly.
he's worried that Tiffany is going to take him out. But Maura, Rob, and Mark are talking about Colton's theory that Tiffany is a traitor. And Maura, she doesn't think that Tiffany is a traitor. This shocks her that this conversation has even come up in the moment.
Right.
And then we see Colton going around rallying the votes for Tiffany. He's got Yam Yam, Steven, Eric, Tara in a room. And he's telling Yam Yam, I'm going to flip it. You need to stay locked in on Tiffany because she's nice to your face and dragging you behind your back.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes her a traitor because she thinks that Yam Yam is a traitor. That makes her a traitor. You think she's a traitor? Does that make you a traitor?
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's like he's playing on Yam Yam's emotions to try to get an emotional vote out of him. And it works.
Yeah, I think he was just manipulating his feelings for Tiffany to get Yam Yam to stick with him. I don't think it was a strategic thing that he was saying. I don't think he was trying to say she thinks you're a traitor and she's nice to your face. I think it just fueled what he was trying to say to the group
Trying to make
about
her
her.
out to be a threat
Yes.
to Yam Yam. And without any evidence, just that she's dragging you behind your back, no other evidence that she's a traitor. She's suspicious of you, so stay focused on her.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like something a traitor might even say.
Yeah.
So Candice walks in on this little powwow and she's like, don't keep the door shut. And Colton is off. He is off to go convince more people about Tiffany. Candice, she's like, this is a mess. Colton is being sloppy. This is exactly what happened with Portia. We had a plan. Donna, we got off track. And where did we wind up? With a faithful gone. Like, we need to focus. I'm worried that her defending Tiffany and saying focus on Ron could come back and bite her. When they find out that Ron isn't a traitor, and here's the whole house and momentum shifting towards Tiffany, and Candice's soft spot for Tiffany is making her defend Tiffany, is it going to look great that Candice was targeting a different faithful?
Yeah, I had the same thought. I was like, you need to back off. I think you're getting too defensive.
Too involved, but she really loves Tiffany. They all do. And all of a sudden, in this moment where I'm like, no, Candice, don't do that. Don't do it. All of a sudden, I realize I'm pulling for the traitors in this game.
I am too.
Are we supposed to be pulling for the traitors?
I don't know how it's supposed to work. I don't know whose side we're supposed to be on, but I have been on the traitors' side so far this season.
I'm completely on the traitor side.
What's that say about us?
Me and my green cape have no idea.
That's
Round
it. It was
table.
the green capes that we bought set the pace.
Round table. So Tiffany, she says she wants to sit back and see what happens because the people who are taking charge are becoming threats.
She should have taken her own advice.
Yeah, maybe before they got to the round table.
Exactly.
Colton starts right off at her and all of his crazy reasons that she's a traitor. Oh, you had a strategy. I love the way Tiffany is coming back at Colton. She's like, no, I'm smart. You're just an idiot. Michael and Ron are already sus. So yeah, I'm saying I'm going after them. What's the big deal? Half the damn house is going after them. A. And B, Yam Yam, she's got her reasons. But then Yam Yam starts into it, and she's like, I'm not talking to you, Yam Yam. Then she's got Colton and Yam Yam coming after her, and I think it throws her off track because she stops focusing on her reasoning and just gets into defensive mode.
And she was sounded very condescending at that point with them.
Well, she had two of them coming after her for
I know. I'm just saying that was the tone. No, I'm just saying that was the tone that I picked up. And some people, I am one of those people. As soon as somebody starts getting condescending with me, it just, I just shut down with that person. Like, I don't listen to them anymore.
I thought she was telling it like it is. You
She
guys are
was.
idiots. You are basing this on nothing. Why would I get out Ian and Rob C? They're gamers. I'm a gamer. I'm not going after the gamers. And Colton, he knows he's taking a big chance. And she's like, yeah, it's a big chance, but it's a wrong chance because I am faithful. And then like Yam Yam is ready to write her name down right then. Colton asks her how to spell her name. And she says, Tiffany, like the company. And he's like, I have to ask because I'm not so smart. And she goes, okay, well, now you got it. I agree. You're not that smart. But it blows up. And then her suspicion on Ron, they start to go over that again. And Maura jumps in and says, well, Ron, why do you think I'm a traitor? I heard you had my name in your mouth. And finally, we get some evidence. He goes, I heard light steps. This is the most evidence we've seen at the round table. Again, I think Tiffany would have stepped it up with some evidence, but she
Too busy
was
taking
being
it
tag
personal.
teamed by two dudes coming after her for no reason. Well, Maura gets defensive also. So Ron is sitting there and he's got evidence. He's like, you're a little person. I heard little tiny footsteps. So it was either you or a squirrel, and I'm going to go with you. And she tells Ron, don't do me like you did Portia. So, and she only has one person coming after her. And then Eric decides it's time to step in with his evidence. I was not expecting this.
I was not either.
He says he is 99% sure that the laugh he heard in the wood was Tiffany.
Bomb dropped.
When he said that, Dee, you were over there hooting like an owl. You're like, who? And
I couldn't believe it.
like, for fuck's sake. And you're like, oh shit. Well, that would make Eric a good target for the traitors, because now he's heard something. And then he goes on to say, I'm a musician. I have no idea who he is, but he's a musician. He has a musically trained ear. He knows pitch. And that was Tiffany. And Tiffany said, you might need another career. I love it.
One.
I love
that was great.
Throwing shots at them.
Yeah, that was great.
Tiffany does realize, though, that she is being defensive and it's probably not the best strategy. So she acknowledges that. She takes accountability for that. And then she explains, I'm a single mother and I really need the money. Like the housewives here, they don't need the money. Donna Kelsey, she wouldn't have needed the money. Like, I actually need the money. And that's why it's personal. And Candice steps in again to defend Tiffany. Candice is crying now. Tara's crying. I'm crying.
I'm not crying.
I love Tiffany. You don't understand. I love Tiffany. She was on Big Brother and she got America's favorite player. She got 50,000. America loves Tiffany.
I really liked her.
And the house loves Tiffany. Like,
everybody in there does.
But Candice points out what she said before. This is like what happened with Portia. We are getting sidetracked. We are supposed to be on Ron and we are changing our minds at the last minute. Candice acknowledges there are some compelling points for Tiffany, but she doesn't think they're as strong as the points for Ron, which, let's look at what we've got. Ron was very close with Donna, shifted suspicion away from Donna week 1 and got Portia evicted. Although he did have some very articulate points about why to get rid of Portia, but she ended up being a faithful.
Yeah.
And it was week 1. But he's also not getting close with people. He plays a sympathy card whenever attention goes toward him. So this is what we have on Ron.
Yeah. But if you think about it, what he did to Portia is exactly what Eric has now done to Tiffany. Because Ron said that he heard Portia say these words that she murdered. You know, she was referring to herself a couple of times.
But he wasn't the only one that heard it. 2 other people.
That's true. But Eric has just done the same thing that Ron basically did to Portia.
And Eric was blindfolded at night, scared about being murdered. And Ron was just repeating what he said. But okay, so Tiffany, we have Eric says that he heard her laugh, which they've been in the house, 3 days? How acquainted is he with everybody's laugh? And then Colton doesn't like her. I think the evidence weighs more heavily in favor of Ron personally.
Well, I do too, but I think that the Eric...
Out of 2 wrong answers.
Yeah, I think the Eric stuff is really what's going to shift this
I agree.
table.
Colton might have shifted them, but I think what tipped them over was Eric, because he has not spoken up. He has not been targeting people. He has no reason to come for Tiffany.
And his profession. If he was not in the profession that he's in, I don't know how serious some of them would have taken it.
He made a compelling argument. But to me, my scales weigh more heavily in favor of Ron. All things being wrong. Now, Candice is like, don't cry to Tiffany. And then she's like, come on, guys, back me up. You guys have talked to me about how Ron shifts, how he gets into this like victimization when you start to question him. And a few people pipe up that, yeah, they agree, including Dorinda. Dorinda's housewives loyalty. She has Candice's back. And Colton's like, look, if I'm wrong, I will have pie all over my face. Tiffany's like, yeah, you will. And so will Eric. So we get to the vote and everyone votes for Tiffany except for Candice and Michael. They vote for Ron. Steven, Monet, Lisa, Steven has a sad face. Monet and Lisa have hearts around Tiffany's name. Eric and Tara both apologize with their vote. They're like, if we're wrong, we are so sorry. At least they apologize. And Tiffany goes up there and she's like, you guys did a great job because you get what you deserve and you don't deserve me because I'm a faithful. I was bawling. I actually recorded my reaction live after, right after I watched it. I grabbed my camera and I was just like, they just got rid of Tiffany.
I was watching Eric.
That was my last Big Brother player.
Oh,
I was sad.
I was watching Eric's face, and you could tell he was completely shocked. Completely shocked.
So much for that ear. Real shocked that his musical ear sucks. I'm not surprised. Who is Eric? I looked up his songs. I still had no idea.
I don't know who he is either.
Now, Candice said that she's like, Eric, I believe you thought you heard Tiffany laugh. Why is she doing this? Other people are like, you heard her or you didn't. And she's like, I think you thought you did.
Yeah. I don't know. See, out of the 3 traitors, she's the one that I think needs to back away from situations sometimes. Sometimes I think she throws herself.
Same thing Lisa Rinna did at breakfast, which is volunteering extra information that doesn't make sense. And it makes you go, okay, why would she say that?
Yeah.
I believe you thought you heard her laugh.
Maybe I think she's trying to come across like she's trying to ease his conscience because he's so upset with this. But I would have not, as a traitor, I would have stayed completely out of it as far as making a statement.
Now, as they're going to leave, Michael decides to throw a shot at Colton. He's like, there's ringleaders here and there's not ringleaders here. Wink, wink, Colton. And then we see Colton and ITMs giving us some BS, something like, we question people and that's how we get information at the round table. I'm sorry. The only thing I learned from this round table, Colton, is that you're an idiot. You're basing the game off of instinct instead of any sort of proof. And that Eric has no talent for people's laughs and deciphering them.
I think that it's going to make a pretty big target for him and Eric at the next round table. And I would not be surprised at all if he doesn't turn on Eric and say, he's the one that told us he heard her. Only a traitor would do that.
Michael would do that. You mean target Eric?
No, Colton.
Yeah.
Because Colton's the one that went after Tiffany so bad. And I think that that's going to put a big target on him and Eric.
He knows it is. He said he's got eye on his face.
Yeah, so I think he's going to turn on Eric to get the people off of him.
And he even says that. He's in the ITMs talking about how he played football for 17 years and he's used to taking risks. I'm going to tell you, Colton is taking a risk here. He is wearing this ugly ass sweater vest that looks like it's out of some really bad
the fashion police.
Country Western. No shirt on underneath, mind you. Missing your undershirt.
Colton, you done put a big ass target on your head, taking Tiffany out as far as Lauren's concerned. She will be after you the rest of the season until you're gone.
Colton, I'm watching you. Again, I'm rooting for the traitors. Let's murder them.
I know.
Eric, I don't feel that way about Eric. He looks just so hurt that he got Tiffany out.
That he did that.
And remorseful. And Colton came at her so much stronger. Eric was much softer with his accusations.
I know. But there's so many people that made their decision for that vote based on what Eric said, because that's exactly what they said. Wow. So I have a feeling.
And they need to be careful because if they punish him for giving his opinion, then he might not be forthcoming next time. They also might wonder why he didn't say that to anybody until he got to the table.
Well, I think that's all going to be points that Colton's going to make when he throws him under the bus.
Eric must have been so sure that this was Tiffany.
I think he was really, really sure.
He didn't think out, what if I take a swing and have a miss? He didn't think he was missing.
No, and I also think that he will probably be way more cautious in the future with his voices around the round table. I think what he's going to say, because of what just happened. It affected him that badly.
After the round table, Michael is talking to Kristen. He goes, it's one of the 3 hunks. That's either Colton, Steven, or Rob. He's right. It's one of the three hunks.
Apparently, they hang out together all the time, too, those three.
So the traitors go and they meet in the turret. They have to decide who's gone. I think it's going to be Monet because Lisa's name was in his mouth.
I was thinking the same thing.
The
I'm
edit makes
thinking-
you think maybe they're not considering Monet, but knowing these traitors, they can't take that risk.
No, I think it's going to be him too.
And right now, it seems like a good opportunity because Candice says she was the only one around when Monet dropped Lisa's name. So Lisa accurately says that's not going to reflect poorly on me. It's not going to look like I targeted him because he said my name.
Right.
Because you're the only one that knows. Although he could have been saying it to somebody else, not in Candice's presence. So
it's true. I guess it would depend on who he trusts in the house, but that's the conversation.
Well,
that
what
we
if he
saw.
had said it to Yam Yam?
Yeah.
I mean, he and Yam Yam were talking at the very beginning saying it was Donna. So we don't know who he's talked to. That one moment he said it just in front of her, but we don't know if he's had other conversations. But this is a good chance to get him out. Get him out early at the first sign of an issue.
Right. But one of the things that Rob has been saying that he didn't want to get him out because they need him for the missions. A lot of these guys are staying because they need them for the mission. So that's another strategy that I don't think anybody's looking at.
Maybe that's where Colton felt threatened because last week he couldn't stack those goals. Got to stir up a little drama. So that's who I think dies. Who do you think dies? You got Johnny, who's random. Monet, said Lisa. Tara, also random. Maura, which they said would be too blatant. That would be like pinning it on Ron. And then Steven.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Monet or Steven.
Now, being too blatant and pinning it on Ron, that also could be a strategy. Like maybe you do take somebody out that is coming right at you because, you know, the traitor, at least these traitors are making steps that are not obvious. So you switch up that MO and do something that's obvious, which if somebody else heard the name Monet might be what could work out in their favor.
Right.
All right. Anything
such a
to
good
add?
show. No, it's such a good show. I just love watching this
show. All right. Well, we will be back here in a few minutes with episode 5. Thanks for listening with us, Channel Surfers. Bye.
Let's ride.